Namaste friends, welcome to Learn with J empowered by Magic Needles. This day I am here with double crochet and chains, working with double crochet and working with chains along with double crochet, and we can create any pattern in this, like staggering the chains. You can have a design of your own, you can prepare a chart and go accordingly. I shall show you the tricks and tips how to go about it instead of reading the entire pattern. A pattern will be some 19-20 row repeat, 20 row instructions. That is not required at all. This is very simple if we work as I say. Now I have taken 7 as the base number here, and I am skipping 2 chains, and all that will be in the same direction. You change direction and you place these chain spaces in different places, you can create your own pattern. Since I have taken the 7 as the base, I have multiples of 7 stitches as my first row, so I showcase you in that way. I'm going to use almond cream color of Hobby Store Aran yarn. It's anti-pill 100% acrylic yarn with 2025 color code. Okay, I will chain 28 and get back to you. I've chained 28 and I'm going to place my very first DC here in the very first stitch. So I need to have only 28 stitches all together, including the chain spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this loop, twist and make my standing double crochet in the very first stitch. Otherwise you can go by the normal way, chain 3 extra and place your double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. Twist it. Then 1 double crochet in the, this will be little tricky, you place it like this. This is the second stitch. 1 double crochet in the next back bump. This can be straightened, need not worry. 1 more in the next. So we have done 3 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2 and place 1 double crochet each in next 7. This 7 number can be 6, 5, etc. as per your wish. And if you take 5 stitches, it should be multiples of 5. If you take 6 as the base, it should be multiples of 6. That is the only trick that we have for this particular pattern. We can play with this pattern. So this pattern is going to be 7, 1 double crochet in each of the next 7, skip 2, chain 2, 7 next, again skip 2, chain 2, 7 next, and end with the double crochets in the last few stitches here. So I will complete that and get back to you. I started with 3 double crochets, chain, skipped 2, 7 double crochets, skip 2, 7 double crochets, skip 2, and I'm left with 5, and this will count to 14 and this is 14. Okay, so 28. Now next thing you need to decide is how you are going to stagger your chain space, and row after row you should continue in that same direction. You should see that this is staggered, this chain 2 space is staggered in one particular direction for this pattern. Okay, so now make the first chain 3 or standing double crochet here. Three, 4, 5. In this, in the chain space, place 2 DCs. And then skip 2 DCs, chain 2 and skip 2 DCs. And place 1 DC each on next 5 DCs. 2 DC in chain 2 space, skip chain 2, skip 2. I shall meet you and continue with this pattern. I shall meet you at the end here. I've completed row 2, so I skipped last but 2 stitches, chain 2, and I am ending with 1 DC here. Turn your work, place a standing double crochet here, now when you turn, your spaces are going from left to right, and so the next space has to be over these 2 stitches. So accordingly you should have the stitches done here. So what you do is, in the chain 2 space, 1 DC, 2 DC, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't bother about this, don't take this into account. Here you will have 8 DCs, but you need these 2 as the chain spaces. So in the sides, the rows will have sometimes 8, sometimes 6, sometimes 4, sometimes 3. So don't bother about that. So when you fix this first space, the very first space in the right direction, all the stitches will go in the proper manner and your swatch will be correct. And this is a very good pattern for lantern making. You can go with any number of stitch counts as the repeat, and when you do the pattern in the round, the multiples have to be even number of the stitches that you take, or I have taken 7, that means I need to take multiples of 14. So only then what you start with, you will end with a different pattern. That is what we require when you work in the round. Okay, now I am going to make 2 chains, skip the next 2 and 2 DCs. Again place DCs on the next. I shall meet you at the end over here. We've come to the end and we are left only with 2 stitches, and you cannot have 2 chains and skip 2 and work anywhere else. So logically we make 1 chain and place our last DC in the very last stitch. And so also when you start working under chain 1, you need to work only 1. Okay, so now turn your work, place your DC on the very first one, then here we need to have a different plan. Okay, so above this you need to have a chain 2 spacing. So what we do is we make 1 double crochet here, chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This stitch works on logic better than going by the written pattern. Place 2 DCs here. See, now all these chain 2 spaces are in the same direction, they are aligned. So skip 2 and chain 2, skip 2, again you place, continue the pattern. This is how you continue the pattern row after row. See that all your spaces are towards the same direction for the pattern that I am showing. Otherwise you have a graph drawn, write your pattern, like draw your pattern in the graph paper and go about it, you will never go wrong. Okay, I shall finish this and get back to you. I've completed this row here, and here I am left with 6 stitches. When you count all the stitches, it will come to 28. See, 6 plus 2, 8, 15, 17, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So row after row, number of stitches including the chains has to be the number you started with. Then your pattern will never go wrong, and if you maintain the direction, you start with the correct direction in the first spacing, your pattern will never go wrong. So this is the only basic logic that you have to follow when you work with such fillet patterns. When you work with DCs and chains and in fillet, when you work, you should remember that as per the graph given, you are following right. Thank you friends for watching this video. I shall be back with the next pattern in the next video. Thank you friends.